Hello, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube. How to think about where am I at tonight? I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. Looks like we've already got people in here. Welcome to the show. Tonight's video is sponsored by Ferguson. Now, we teamed up with Ferguson. Look, we teamed up with them because of everything they do for plumbers, the communities they're in, and things like that. And I got to tell you, I love working with them because of everything they let me do, not just for y'all, but things that I get to give away, things I get to do. It's a lot of fun. How is everybody doing in here tonight? I hope that everybody had a wonderful 4th of July last week. Man, we got to have fun. Me and my brother set off a ton of fireworks. So I love what we get to do. I want y'all to think about that though. You know, doing things like that safely. My little brother doesn't get in here and watch these, so I really don't have to worry about it. He has almost set their house on fire twice, and that's not a good thing. Now we have, or let me see, we're supposed to have, I've got a link up top to ask me questions, and there's another link, or there's supposed to be. Let me see if I can find it. There is supposed to be a link in here to the Facebook group for Ferguson. And I will pull that up right here just to make sure that I got it. I love getting in that Facebook group because it's a great place to ask questions. And I hate how slow Facebook is these days. See what we find here. So first of all, how's everybody doing? And I got a lot of people in here already. Good deal. And I will find it here in just a second. Matter of fact, Mr. Dean, if you hear me, I already got a super chat in here. It says, Dear Roger, I spent the last 3 days in Arizona. It's been over 100. Why do people want to move there? It's too hot. Signed, Joe. Well, Joe, man, I hate to tell you, I'm in Texas. It's been over 100 here too. So it makes it tough. Let me do something real quick here. I'll get this done in here. So here's the deal. Joseph, it's hot. Not only is it hot here, it stays hot here. And man, I'll tell you what though, we were talking about this the other day. I will take the heat over the cold. I will take being too hot over freezing any day of the week. How do y'all feel about it? But let's do this. Where do y'all live and what was the temperature today? Because if I'm not mistaken, Dallas was up about 105 today. And I'm going to see if I can do this. As a matter of fact, I know I can. Let me pull my little doohickey in over here. I'm going to show you where I live and what I get to do and what I get to look forward to. Because it does. It makes it kind of fun. Oh, and it won't pull it up. Why not? Man. I love it when I get to do stuff like that. And here it is. It ain't even going to work for me. There we go. So that's what I get to deal with. As you see, let me see if I can do that. It won't even let me do that. Okay, I thought it would. As you can see, it's 102. Now look across the bottom. it's not even going to go under 100 till 7 tonight. But here's the forecast for the rest of the week: 102, 104, 103, 100. Saturday, it's going to be below 100, but then it jumps right back up. So, look, I know how you feel. I really do. I get it. But where are you and what's the temperature like? Because it's kind of rough here. Okay, I'm going to go through the comments. Matter of fact, let me jump up the top. Let me just run through them real quick. Dean is supposed to put a deal in here. Jason Krause says, this man is amazing. Thank you. Kiki says, let's go. Reeve Sharma says, what are you doing today? Well, today, look, I've been working with Ferguson today, and it's really cool because we had a meeting this morning about what we're going to do in the future for videos. So I want to ask y'all this, especially since they're sponsoring us today. What kind of videos would y'all like to see me do? What would you like to see me do? Because, man, I was up here Saturday. I had Kyle. I don't know if Kyle's in here or not. I was up here working in the studio. My shop back there, we're actually making it bigger so we can add a testing facility to pressure test stuff and see if we can blow some stuff apart. I know that kind of came out kind of funny, but it is what it is. Let me see. Okay, next one. So what are we doing today? We're having fun. Greg Williams says, question. Yeah, if y'all will go up to the top, there is a pinned comment up there. If you have a question, jump over into the form, ask your question there. I've already got some questions in there. And Dean's watching. So Dean, why don't you tell me where the link to the Facebook is? Just asking. Because I want to make it work. I want to make it right and want to make it good. So back to the comments. And y'all see the tag up there. If you do see the tag, just let me know. Preston's Desmarius, I guess that's it, right? Roger, love you, brother. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, y'all know that y'all make it where I get to do what I get to do. Y'all make it where I get to have fun. Says, wait, that Ron, that's cute. Mr. Ron Lovell, good to see you in here. Zachary Ramos says, just passed my written exam here in Texas at the Lubbock testing site. Now just waiting on the test date. So you said at the Lubbock site, is that what is it, PSI? It's not PSI, it's Prometrics or something. Did you go take the course online? I mean, not the course. Did you go take your test online, Ron or Zachary? Did you go take it online? And if so, how was it? I'm just curious because they did a town hall. The Texas State Board came to Dallas, did a town hall out here at Milestone Electric in Garland. And man, I went to it and I thought it was great. It was great to see a lot of the people that make things happen behind the scenes. So I do appreciate that. William Nunez says, tankless versus tank. What do you use and why is it better? And the truth is, okay, so there we go. That's right. There is a link down in the description. And I remember you telling me about that now, Dane. So there's a link down in the description for the Facebook group. And I'm going to copy that right there. I'm going to move it over here and put it in. So I just want to make sure we get everything done right. Backspace, and I'm going to put that in. And it's in. So now I'm going to go down to the bottom. And I'm going to pin it to the top. So I got that one up to the top in the StreamYard. I like that. Man, where did that come from? Oh, there we go. So let's see how that works. Dean, if you will, let me know if it come out looking good like it's supposed to. I just want to make sure. So I am back in my live chat over here. And here we go. Dean says, can't find that Ferguson Facebook link can also find the Ferguson Facebook link in the description. So guys, jump down there, check it out, go to the description, click down on it. It'll drop down. There's also in the description or right below it down there. There's a place to click on to help you go over to ask a question in the forum. And I'm getting a few questions in there. So I'll jump over there in a minute. David Hidalgo says, I was in Wyoming. It was hot. I'm from California. Well, it's pretty hot in California too, just not quite like it is here, I don't think. Oh my gosh. Michael Moreland, really? No, shark bite is not for life. Matter of fact, in the tests I've done lately, they don't test very well. James Acevedo says in New Mexico, and it's 101 today. Illinois, 85. Now that sounds nice right now. Mike Grover, 91 in New York. Van Etten, New York. Good deal. Son Goku's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ty Evans, you can only take off so many clothes. You know what? I agree with you, but when it's freaking cold, you can only have on enough that you can't move before you get comfortable. And I don't like that. William Nunez, 86 degrees in Chicago. You know, Chicago is someplace I've always wanted to go to. Haven't got to go yet, but that is on my list. Brother Joseph Lalaber is in the house. Says my house in Tennessee was 80 degrees. Where I am is 115. Soul suck heat. Man, it'll get you. So in your house was 80. Man. Oh, okay, now I get it. In the house when you were in Tennessee, it was 80. There you go. Michael says, rather sweat than shiver any day. Brother, you and me both. I can get hot and it doesn't hurt. Man, you get cold, it hurts. And I mean, it hurts to the bone. So I'll take the heat anytime. Ron Level says 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, y'all figure that one out. I'm going to let y'all do it. That way I don't have to stop and look down at the computer and play around. Preston Demarius says, Roger. Thank you. Saw that. Kayla Rose says, happily will be the only female watching this stream. I doubt it. Kayla, we actually get a lot of females in here, just so you know. And I'm glad that you love plumbing. Are you in plumbing? Are you an apprentice, a journeyman? Man, I am constantly trying to recruit females into the trades. And that's funny. I shouldn't have to because so many women do wonderful in the trades. Make sure that I got that. Oh, Braulio V says, I have an interview tomorrow at a company for the position of plumber helper. I have no previous experience in plumbing. How do I ace this interview? Number one, don't wait till the night before to ask that question. But since you did, here's what I would tell you is the people trying to hire you are looking for one thing. They're looking for somebody to fill a position and represent them well. So if you go in there and you let them know, look, I'm not just here to learn and grow. I'm here to help y'all. How can me coming to work here benefit y'all? How's it going to benefit me in my future? Because I want to be able to take care of my family and things like that. But I mean, think about that. They're there for a reason. They're trying to fill a position. They want the best person to fill that position. They're not just there to hire the first person that walks in. They want the best applicant. So what I would tell you is try to be that applicant. Try to be the one. Look, study the company. Understand what company you're walking into. What are their morals? What's their mission statement? What is their vision? What do they want to do with their company? Do they want to grow? And I normally ask the people that I'm talking to, what can I do to help you? How could me coming to work here benefit you? And that's always a big deal to me. So let me jump back in here. There is that. Go ahead and pin that up there. That way you can see it. Okay, so we were right there, Miss Kyla. Twin Home Experts in the house says, big hello, Roger. First time ever being on a YouTube live. This is cool. Great job, brother. If y'all have not checked out the Twin Home Experts, friends of mine, go check them out. Man, they're on YouTube. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. Great brothers. Good to see y'all. William Nunez says, it's all about that humidity level. You know, and it's funny because people ask me that all the time. People are like, look, dude, is it really hot in Dallas? It's not as humid here. And Dean, my focus is off on my slider, if we can fix that. The humidity is not as bad up here, so it's not as bad. If it was this hot down in Houston, I mean, you could just walk outside and your clothes would be wet. So the humidity has a lot to do with it. It's not as humid in Dallas as it is everywhere else. Preston DeMarcia says, very smart plumber. I know you're not talking to me, but I appreciate that. David Hidalgo says, what do you have to worry about when it freezes as far as water? Thinking about moving to Wyoming. You know, you just want to make sure that you've got, things set up to where they're not going to get that cold. And I say that because if you can insulate the pipes, if you can open cabinets, if you can do different things like that, it can literally keep it from freezing. That's what you want to look at. You got to understand, look, it's going to get cold in places. It's going to do different things like that. I'm sorry, I'm looking down here so I can. Does that help? Sorry, I got help in the studio, which is a good thing to have. So we're trying to make sure that we fix the focus there on number 4, and it's way out right there. Are you on autofocus again? It's not twisting or turning. Nothing's coming in better. Yeah, maybe just go back to autofocus on it. Sorry, guys. Tech happens. Something we get to deal with. All right, so I'll just kick back over to channel 1. There, that looks better on 4. Perfect. All right, thank you, sir. Okay, I'll let you. He's on out. There you go. And we got a little slide going again. That looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Thank y'all very much. Thank you, Dean. So you got to worry about, is it protected? Is it wrapped? If you've got pipes on an exterior wall, can you open the cabinet doors and let it get warm under the cabinets? Sometimes that little bit will help it out. And I know I'm answering questions right here in the chat. Guys, if y'all really have questions that you want to guarantee get answered, jump over into the forum. There's a link up top. Click on forums.gle/yada, yada, yada, yada. It'll take you there. John Green says mid-80s in Michigan. I'm okay on that crazy heat. I'll tell you what, like you said a while ago, man, I'll take the heat over the cold. I would rather get hot and sweat than freeze and have shivers and chills. Like I told you, that stuff hurts. And I don't like it when it hurts. Dean says ERCOT recommended all Texas residents set their AC to 80 degrees today to conserve energy. I tell you what, my AC is set on 70, but it's running about 80 because it's been so hot lately. So, man, it does happen. Monkey Operator 1 says, I prefer cold over the heat, can only take off so much. Not me, brother. Lorenzo Criscuelo says, Montreal, it's 84 degrees Fahrenheit here. Not bad. Twin Home Expert says, yep, testing facility would be amazing. Man, I'll tell you what, I did a video comparing shark bite to quick fitting. And I'll tell you what, I love quick fitting. If y'all hadn't checked it out yet, holler at me and I'll make sure I send y'all a deal. But quick fitting, I'm telling you, the pressure, it tested up to 2,200 pounds, somewhere around in there. 18 on that one. They've got one for HVAC tested over 2,000. Man, SharkBite was blown apart at like 800, 1,100. And I know everybody says, well, it'll never get that high. But if I'm going to install a fitting, don't I want what's going to test the best? It works. Jason Kidd says, if you're working with Ferguson, you have absolutely got to use Bob from the Arvada, Colorado store in one of them. You know, I haven't met Bob, but Jason, man, tell him to reach out. Love to talk to him. I want to bring people in to do stuff like this. Matter of fact, I want to try something. Hey, Mr. Dean, if you're watching, let me see if I can set this up. I want to see. Man, I know I'm going to do something wrong here. Man, we were going to set this phone up, Dean. I know we didn't do it. It might be possible, though. All right. See, man, squirrel. I want to set it up where people can call in. Clint Williams says, any tips on getting your name out there to get a little side work? Number one, depending on where you're located, Clint, side work is something I don't recommend unless you have insurance and unless you have all your licenses. Now, if you're in an area that doesn't require licenses, that's one thing. But here in Texas, if you don't have the right licenses and you do something wrong, man, it's liable to cost you. You're liable to lose everything you've ever had. So, man, just be careful. Guys, remember, down in the description, click on the link to go to Ferguson. I think I also tried to pin it at the top, and I think that it's still up there, but I don't see it over on this side. Anyway, I've got a link in here to the Ferguson Facebook group. Man, jump in there and check it out. Join it. Now, I'm going to jump over into the comments or into the forum where I have got questions being asked. and I like it. I've actually got some good ones in here. All right, so let's go to questions and responses, and we will start off at number 1. Mr. Dean asks, why are there no basements in Texas? Well, I tell you what, and I have seen basements in Texas. You just don't see very many of them. The reason being is that we've got a very high water table, meaning the water level can be high enough that even just digging a ditch, it can fill up overnight. And I've seen that on some big jobs. But what I'll tell you this is, they're just not designed that way. With the ground shifting and getting dry, I'm assuming that with all the houses shifting due to foundation problems, if we had basements, that would be cracks in the walls, and that could get a little scary, especially knowing you've got a house built on top of it. So, Dean, man, that's the one that I would love to have a basement. So, just so you know. So, that'll be next for me. All right, next one here. Ahmed Tour says, I'm in the military and I'm getting out soon. Union at my hometown accepts people with an honorable discharge. Would you say union or PHCC? Is it any better or any worse? I like both of them. There's good things about each one of them. PHCC is good, I think, better probably for the business owners. They're a good program. They have a good training program. I went out to Lake Tahoe and spoke at PHCC California and met some amazing people out there. So what I'll tell you is I like PHCC. I was in the union from 97 to about 2018, somewhere around in there. Yeah, probably 2020. But I got out of the union because they're bad for business owners. Small residential companies, at least Local 100 here in Dallas, sucked at it. But I think that the union is good if you want to be a good commercial contractor, a good commercial plumber. Man, that's a great place to go learn. They're going to train you. They're going to educate you. And man, you're normally going to make good money and they're going to have good jobs for you. So I'll tell you what, I think that definitely something worth looking at. And I won't take that off because I don't like that. Yeah. And I've got one starred. It shows up at the top, I believe, to Ferguson. Tell me if y'all can see the Ferguson link up top. I know I've got it starred or favorited on StreamYard. I just don't know if it came up to the top. All right, next question in the forum. Guys, if you got questions that you guarantee you want to get an answer, click the link in the forum up there and I'll do it. There's also a link to it down in the description. And there's also a link to Ferguson down in the description. Ron Lovell says 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're on the same page. Okay, Chris has a question. Thoughts on ICCP for water heater protection in place of the sacrificial anode rod? ICCP, not sure what you're talking about there. Let me see here. ICCP. Oh, that's definitely different looking. I'm going to have to check this out. Powered anode rod system. I have not seen this. So I will definitely check this thing out. It looks interesting. Hero protection. Yeah, I will definitely check it out. It's really neat. I was in a meeting this morning for the HVAC techs, and they're talking about whole house air filtration systems. And I got to tell you, I love them. I want one for my house, so I'm going to end up talking to them, have them come look at it and see what we can do. All right. Back to the questions. And I will check that one out. Next question is from Mr. Greg. Greg says, what would you do if you're getting paid $18 an hour working 45 a week or 23 an hour, but not guaranteed 40 to 45 hours a week. Man, that's tough. I don't understand a pay system like that. If they're going to pay you $18 an hour, do you make overtime? Man, that just sounds like a weird system. But man, what do y'all think? If you're in here and you see this, I'll repeat the question. What would you do if you were getting paid $18 an hour working 45 hours a week, or $23 an hour, but not guaranteed 45 hours a week? I'd probably take the 23 an hour, knowing I'm not going to have to work any overtime. And then I would actually, then I'd actually start looking for a new job. Yeah, architectural sheet metal says time has value too. And it does. That's what I'm saying. I'd take the 23 an hour, but work less hours. That way I can spend time with my family, do what I want to do. All right, let me jump back into the forum. Got some more questions here. Guys, if you want to ask your question and guaranteed it gets answered, this is the place to do it. Kayla Campbell says, opinion on inline meters for rentals. I love them. I actually install inline meters remote to where there's an app for it where you can just look at it and know what it is for lease spaces. That way, if you've got somebody that's got a leak, you automatically know it. You can keep tabs on it, keep an eye on it, and get in there and get the problem fixed before it gets super expensive. So Kayla, great question. I love that. And think about it, it's the same thing for rentals. If you want to be able to charge them for water, it's a great way to do it. Andy Rogers says, my sink is stopped up and it keeps filling up with water. Can you help? Yeah, absolutely. Put a bucket under it, take your P-trap apart, clean it out. Is it in your P-trap? Is it in your arm? Is it one side of the sink or the other? And a lot of different ideas here. You got to know more than that. That's why normally you call a plumber out to look at it. But as a homeowner, you should be able to fix that. That's normally a pretty easy one. James Roberts says, how can I grow my plumbing business? I mean, this is a good one. Now, this is where I get excited too. Here's the thing. How did I grow my plumbing business? I went out and started networking. I got involved with Master Networks, which is a nationwide organization. If you want to know any more information about it, reach out. What I did is start getting out networking, talking to other people about what I do. And it's funny because, and man, I hate to tell you this, but James, most tradespeople won't do that. Get out and network, start building relationships with real estate agents, insurance people, other entrepreneurs that, they see people all the time that maybe need a plumber. So the idea, the possibility of getting in there and doing things, it's crazy. You can get out and network, grow your business, and it's going to change everything forever. But start with that, then start doing social media. Start a Facebook group, start going into Facebook groups about plumbing, talking about your business, what you do, how you do it, man, a ton of different things. But man, get out, meet real estate agents, because real estate agents can refer you to, 50 or 100 people a year. I literally started hosting an event with some friends where we invited nothing but real estate agents. We invited about 500. We'd normally get 50 to 100 show up. I mean, think about that. Each one of them spends $40. You invite 100 of them. There's $4,000. Okay. You split that between 10 people, but you got to network with 100 people and talk to them all night. It can really be worth it for you. All right, James, good question. No, next question is Mr. Burgess. Sorry about that. I muted it so I could clear my throat. In an industrial restaurant kitchen, the water pressure drops for all faucets when the dishwasher is running. How can this be fixed? You may have to put a booster pump in. You may have to see what what size water line is going to everything else. If that line is oversized and everything else is undersized, when it opens up and starts letting that massive amount of water come through it, and you know what, you really shouldn't quite have that problem if you're supplying a dedicated 180-degree water line to it. So different ways to look at it. There's not a lot you can do. A booster pump and upsize the lines that are going to everything else, or make sure that line is reduced in size. All right, I'm going to jump back over into the chat for a little bit. David says, I was in Wyoming. It was hot. Okay, I saw that one a while ago. Man, did it pull me all the way back up there? What do you have to worry about when it freezes as far as water? Thinking about, okay, moving to Wyoming, got that. Mid 80s in Michigan. I'll tell you what, I love Michigan. I normally, anytime I've been to Michigan, because I only went one time a year. It's not true. I went another time. But I always went to Ann Arbor in August, and I got to tell you what, it is beautiful, and the food is amazing. So I love it. All right, I'm going to jump back down a little bit. Here we are. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Digging in the hot sun or working under a house. I'll take working under a house. Don't get me wrong. I've done both. Digging in the hot sun is okay. I wouldn't want to have to dig too much, but digging in the sun is okay. But working under a hot house, man, I mean, under a house, period, it's normally shady. It's normally cooler. It may be moist and damp and stuff like that, but you know what? I can handle that. Magaku, I talked to you. Christopher Larkin, what's the most common thing to leak in a house? Yeah, probably a toilet flapper. You got that. A toilet leaking is normally it's normally the biggest problem because it leaks and people don't realize it because it literally leaks and runs right straight to the drain. Ron Level says, did a large in-ground pool this weekend. Very interesting. Didn't realize there were so many PVC glues needed. 4 different types plus primer. Now, I don't know why there'd be 4 different types, Ron. You might want to explain that. I've only seen them use PVC pipe up here. They use primer too, but haven't seen that at all. What is the friction move in the pipe? If and there's formulas. ASPE, the CPD, Certified Plumbing Designer. I used to have to know a bunch of that. Kevin, I don't anymore. If you're talking about friction loss based on 90s and travel and length and stuff like that, Dean says looks good. If we're back here to 4 seat, man, I'm still a little bit blurry right there. You know what? It's focusing on here. Watch this. Well, I tried to get it to come off there and to me. There we go. Looks like it's clearing up now. See, it will every now and then. I want to see if it gets blurry when it goes back, though. Thank you, though, Dean. I do appreciate it. Killer Rob, 1998. What is up? Been a little while since I've seen you in here. Hope things are going well. Ron Level says we mostly use ABS in Canada. You know, Ron, that's funny because I'm fixing to do a video with ABS pipe. So I like that. Main Man says, hey, what was the worst job in your career? Plumbing. No, I'm joking. Y'all know I love that. Man, the hardest job, which is probably the one I learned the most at, was hauling hay. In 1975, when I was in the 5th grade, I started hauling hay. The summer after my 5th grade year, I started hauling hay, and I mean, man, it is what I've got big, broad shoulders, and it is literally from hauling hay for years. But I'm telling you, it'll turn a boy into a man almost overnight. Guys, if y'all have questions that you want to ask, please go to the top, click on the forum, and I guarantee you they will get asked if you go over there. I want to remind everybody tonight that this video is sponsored by Ferguson. Man, perfect timing. This video is sponsored by Ferguson, and we teamed up with Ferguson, not just because of what they do for plumbers, but for what they do for their communities. They literally help hook me up with people to teach y'all. They help me get introduced to the right people, introduced to a new product coming out, and man, I get to do some pretty cool stuff. So thanks to Ferguson for that. There is a link in the description, and I started one here in the comments. Go join their Facebook group and check it out and let me know what you think. Brian Paris says, enjoy all your videos. Thank you for continuing to do them. You know, Brian, it's funny that yours is right there. Ferguson is what helps us do that. It's the sponsors that we have. Ferguson isn't the only one, but they've been the biggest sponsor. They've helped us since the very beginning. And man, I love working with them. I met with them this morning, talked to Lauren for a while and trying to figure out what can we do in the future. And I asked y'all this a while ago, if y'all are in here and you've got ideas about videos you'd like to see, do me a favor and just leave it in the comments. Put a message in there and say video dash, doing this, whatever it is. If there's things y'all need help with, look, Ferguson is on board, or like Roger, look, whatever you need. So that's why we teamed up with them. And that's why I think this works so good. All right, jumping back over into the forum. Jonathan Gomez says, do you prefer tankless over storage systems? What brand do you prefer? And is there a way to test for thermal expansion without having an expansion tank installed? You know, here's what I'll tell you. I think tankless and storage, they both have their places. I think tankless is the way of the future, because I think that when you're not keeping 50 to 80 gallons of water hot all day long, just in case somebody needs it, I think that's a waste of a lot of energy. And being a lead AP, I look at things like that. I don't know what to tell you. I think Renai makes a great water heater. That's one that I've been looking at. What can we do to do cool things with them? So I think that the opportunity is out there for us all to learn and grow and get better at it. And hopefully we figure out a way to do it. What do you think? Tell me this. What do you use? And what do you think about it? I love the Renai water heaters. I think that they've done a lot of good work. And, there's a lot of myths, and those are videos I'm working on. There's a lot of myths about tankless heaters. So I'm just telling you, I think that we all as plumbers have to learn more about them. But that's why I'm working on the videos that I'm working on. So I like that. Is there a way to test for thermal expansion without having an expansion tank? And if you don't have an expansion tank, there is no thermal expansion. Your pipes aren't going to expand and contract. Now, PEX maybe just a little bit, but not much. All right. Remember, guys, I'm over in the forum answering questions over there. Mr. Jacob Bowling says, what's the most common mistake you see other plumbers do? Man, I may have to drag up a stool on this one. You know what? I think plumbers, for the most part, don't make mistakes. And I know that sounds funny, but I think most plumbers try to do the job right. Most plumbers try to do the job good. A big problem that I think all plumbers make is not being open and honest and communicating. Watch this. How's that look? Y'all like that? I'm sorry. Just every now and then I do weird, stupid stuff. Anyway, it's been a long day, y'all. So I think that the biggest mistakes plumbers make are not communicating with their customer. I think that plumbers could communicate more and make sure their customers understand everything they're doing and why. And then I think the other big one is they're not giving them options. You don't just go in and say, hey, here's what it'll take to fix this. You give them options. That this is what you have to do. This is what you could do. And this is what you should do. And I think that when you look at it like that, man, learn that we're not in sales, but we should be the best option provider they've ever met. And man, if we look at it like that, it is phenomenal. Javier Ramirez says, I'm taking an apprentice test tomorrow to potentially raise my pay 4 months in. What would you recommend to help me prepare? Again, just like the deal a while ago, I think you've probably waited too late to ask this question. I would look at any of the videos I've done where I'm teaching, if this is residential, where I'm teaching residential repair. What do they expect you to know at this point? That'd be a good way to look at it. Next one. Guys, if you have a question you want to guarantee gets answered, please make sure you go up top, click on the link to go into the forum, and I will answer it. This one is, would you consider doing a video on how to price jobs and how to keep production up? You know, it's hard to make a video on pricing a job, and I'm going to tell you why. At least in residential, it's hard for me to tell you how to price yours. I can sit and give you the formulas like, look, you need to know what it would cost you for the best technician you could ever hire in your town. You multiply that so many times. You look at different things. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to know your KPIs, your key performance indicators. What are they? And not only what are they, do you watch them daily? Do you watch them weekly? Do you watch them monthly? And it was put really good to me one time. One of my coaches was talking, and he said, most company owners don't know till April whether they made money last year or not. And that's not a good way to do business. If you're tracking your numbers right, you know monthly, you know weekly. Are we making money? Are we excelling? Are we doing good? And, I used to have Josh come in for my LinkedIn Lives with me on Tuesdays. And man, he's a good businessman. And I loved having him in because that's why I teamed up with him. That's why I sold to Rescue Air, because I think that they're really good at what they do, and looking at the dollars and cents each and every week, each and every month, each and every day is such a big deal. And keeping production up, I mean, you got to keep your men happy. Are you taking them out? Are you doing stuff with them? If it's all about you making money and you're not worried about them, they'll never be happy. You've got to look at both sides. Okay, this one here is from DeFranco. Hello, I have a slow shower drain, likely due to hair and being in an old building. I'm going to buy a mini snake. The drain zip ties. Do you recommend lye or a different drain opener after I use the strips? And after you use those, I wouldn't do anything else. You use that mini snake, you use the little zip ties that are jagged to come in and pull stuff up. The only thing I would do after that is maybe get a screen that you can put over it. That way it keeps hair from going down there to begin with. I think that would be a good investment for you. Still over in the forum, Mr. Hernandez says, do you recommend for an apprentice to start in new construction? It really depends on what you want to do in your future. And I've got to tell you, this is a good question because, not right now, but jump into my YouTube channel and go up, and I've got the little free mini course to ask you what kind of plumber you would like to be. And Mr. I think it's Franco, Mr. Hernandez, here's what I'll tell you is, do you like commercial or residential? And I ask you this, if you were on a 50-story building in downtown Dallas or just a house in Oak Cliff or something, which one are you going to be more happy in? Some people don't want to be 50 stories off the ground. Some don't want to be stuck in a house. They want that excitement of the bigger jobs. So that's the difference in commercial and residential. The next question would be, do you want to do new construction or service? Do you want to build something or do you want to fix something? And I ask that because different people have different mindsets. I love the fact that I get to analyze problems. I get to walk into houses and listen to noises or listen to the customer. Sometimes it's just listening to the customer make noises. But you get to analyze and solve a problem. And me, man, luckily, I am so blessed that I got good at that. I learned how to listen to houses. I learned how to listen to water systems. We specialize in slab leaks and leak detection. And we do it because we're good at it, but we've trained at it. I train my people at it. My question to you is, you got to know where to start. So do you start in new construction or service? Do you start in residential or commercial? Do you start union or non-union? And those are questions you need to figure out, hopefully before you get started, because that's going to help you decide which area to get in. And hopefully it's going to be one you enjoy. And I think that job will last you longer. All right, man, I'm having a good time. If y'all are having fun tonight, I'm just going to say, look, down at the bottom, give us a thumbs up. If you like it, man, if you don't, hit the thumbs down, but hit it twice. Just saying. Miss Tammy Bowling says, what is the worst plumbing job you've ever done in your long career? Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, I've gone into houses that people shouldn't even have lived in. I've gone into houses that I remember we got a call a few years back, and a lady says, look, I need somebody to come out because I have a slab leak, and the city's going to cut off my water because it's leaking into my neighbor's yard. She says, I'm disabled. She's in a wheelchair. Her husband was blind and never got out of bed. Her son had dementia and couldn't get out of bed for long periods of time. And when I went over there and knocked on the door, and we even called the city and said, look, is this a true story? And they said, yeah, it is. I said, look, we get calls like this all the time. I said, no, it's legit. So we go over there. I go over there myself. And I walk in, and it's just one of those situations you walk in, and it's just, it takes your breath away. And the first thing she said, and she just looked up at me, she said, look, please don't judge me. I can't get out of the chair and I can't get help. And it was that bad. All I want to say is God bless my plumbers. It was a house that, like I said, nobody should ever live in. But also that's all they have. And my plumbers had to work in an environment that it was tough. It was tough for me. I'm very, man, I wear my heart on my sleeve. And Tammy, I want to tell you, that's one that when I walked out, thank God my back was to the house because I had tears in my eyes. So that was probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever done in my life. And all I'm saying is thank God for my plumbers. They went over and they did a phenomenal job, and we got them taken care of. And the city that we worked in actually said, hey man, thank y'all very much. Raymond Chavez says, I just got in the union as a plumbing pre-apprentice. Do you have any tips for one day or for day one? Absolutely. Number one, and this is a video I need to make. One of my guys asked me about this today. Understand that you're getting into a profession, not just a trade, a profession. And the thing that I'll tell you about it is you're going to be around people that have done it a lot like me. I've done it for 42 years now. Understand when you walk in, you know nothing. And even when you think you do, I promise you don't. But you can learn. And on day one, I'm going to tell you, start thinking about your day 5,000, day 10,000, day 50,000. And the reason I say that is you're getting into a profession that you have the opportunity to do anything in the world. You can start your own company. You can just be a foreman, a superintendent. You can just stay a plumber forever. God, you can stay an apprentice forever. Always try to be the very best you can each and every day. And the thing is, it's easy to do right now because most people are not trying to be the best. Most people are just trying to show up, do it really easy and get by with it. And I'm telling you, man, you there's a lot of stuff you can do. Good questions today, guys. Thank y'all very much. Marcus Ansidra says, I passed my apprenticeship test a month ago for the local 62 in Castroville, California. Going to have oral reading exam in front of 5 people, and they're going to ask me questions. Any tips will help. Thank you. I'll tell you what, and I love this. I got to tell you what I love tonight. because there's so many people talking about getting into the trades, getting into plumbing. Guys, number one, those of y'all getting in, and I'm gonna get up on my soapbox. I'm gonna get up here and preach for a minute. Here's what I'll tell you: is you have an opportunity to get into a trade that you can change the world. You can make the world a better place. You have an opportunity to make great money, to take care of people, whether you're union or non-union, whether you're commercial or residential, whether you're service or new construction. People need to be taken care of, and they need people to be honest with them. And if you will come in and do things like that, man, it is amazing. I want to see if I've got something right here. There we go. Check that out. Yeah, visit Ferguson.com. Check them out on Facebook. There's the link to the Facebook group. Guys, if you're not in it, man, jump in it. It's a cool spot to be. Dane, thank you for taking care of that for me. All right. It looks like I got another question here, and there we go. This one is Jacob. Says, this may sound stupid, but how long have you been a plumber? I started plumbing in 1980. So, I wasn't there when God invented plumbing, but I was there right the first time the toilet stopped up. I've been doing this 42 years. And man, I got to tell you, I love what I do. I really do. Brother OV, number one, thank you for the super chat. I hope that helped you. I understand when you go in, man, there's a lot going on, but they're looking for one thing. They're looking for the best person. And if you can talk to them and help answer those questions. And man, one thing I like to do, I like to ask them questions. When they're done, say, is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't? Anything you can think of? Another good one, and do as much research as you can on the union or the company or whatever it is. If you're going to work directly for a company, understand that. And do research on them. Man, with the internet, you can find out anything in the world. Understand what their morals are. What do they believe in? What is their company culture? What is it they like to do? Man, just everything about it. Learn everything you can. The reason being, if you will, it's going to help make you look better than everybody else. Come in and know what you're talking about. Look at Mr. Colton Casada in the house. Don't forget to hit the like button. Sweeney Dunstan also in here. How we doing, brother? Let me scroll on down here. Sweeney says, Roger, working security, but we had a problem at his site. Commercial toilet with pull handle decided to stick. Kept running in a urinal. What could be the problem? You probably have some trash clogged up in there. First thing you need to do is take a flat blade screwdriver, take off the cap on the valve, turn the water off. That's going to stop it. Man, it's really funny. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to San Antonio Riverwalk. God, this has been 20 years ago. And I'm down on the river, and I go in to use the restroom. And the guy says, hey, we can't let anybody in there. I said, why? He said, it's flooding. I said, yeah, but man, I really got to go. He said, yeah, but you don't understand. There's 2 inches of water. I said, all right, I'll stop the flooding if you let me go. And he looked at me like I was nuts. He said, okay. So I walked in there and looked. Sure enough, somebody had stopped up the toilet and it was still running. So there was trash in the flush valve. So I literally walked back out. I had nothing on me. I walked back out and said, man, can you get me a butter knife? He said, a what? I said, a butter knife. I said, unless you have a toolbox. He said, no, we don't. So he goes, gets me a butter knife. And I take this butter knife and I ended up bending it to make a 90 out of it. But I stuck it in that screw and used it like a screwdriver and turned it and stopped the water. While I was in there, I also walked over to the urinal. And matter of fact, I used the urinal while he was going to get me the butter knife. So after that, I literally just went back out to my table, and I was there with my wife or on a date, whatever it was. And the funny thing is, the waiter came up. He said, "Hey, are you the one that stopped the flood in there?" And I said, "Yeah." And it was my wife, and she looked at me. She's like, "What?" I said, "Well, man, the toilet was running, so I fixed it." And the dude said, "Hey, the manager told me to cover your dinner tonight." I said, "Well, thank you very much." He said, "Can I get y'all some more margaritas?" I said, "No, we were actually late." He said, "Man, look, the manager's a jerk. He never buys anything for anybody. Please order some more margaritas." So I said, "You know what? Go ahead." So he brought us 2 more. It was great, but I tell you, the food was good, so I loved it. Rock and Roll says, in commercial buildings, does every underground P-trap need to be a tap P-trap for a trap primer? If not, when do you use trap primers? You need them in a bathroom. You need them in an area that's not normally wet. If it's an area that's normally wet, you're going to have water on the floor anyway. I like to put them everywhere, put a trap primer on it. That way you put it on a fast control valve. That way it'll set it off. But yeah, man, if I put a underfloor P-trap in, yeah, look at your drawings. That'll keep you out of trouble. But yes, I love trap primers. In time to reach out, love to talk. Wait, in time to reach out, love to talk to DJ Plumber in Yuma, Arizona. It's 110 degrees. Man. 86 Fahrenheit. I saw that. Thank you very much. Anaid J. Azriali says, I bought a house with a central air and heater pump. In winter, my electric bill was up to $1,300 to $1,500. Only a section of the house was getting warm. Man, that's a high bill. Yeah. I don't know why. I'd contact somebody local. Well, I don't deal with a lot of heat pumps, so man, that's a tough one for me. Summertime, my ceiling started leaking. Fixed now the AC, but no longer using the heat pump. Get it? Last being left. I like that. Yes, it did. Architectural sheet metal. What's homie? I tell you what, man, it's good to see you in here. It always is. I like your mustache. Thank you very much. I hear that quite often. Don't know why. Architectural Sheet Metal says, what's up, my homie Roger? Love seeing what you're doing on your channel. You're an inspiration to our channel as well. Keep up the good work. Man, look, y'all are doing good things. If y'all aren't subscribed to Architectural Sheet Metal 101, go over there and check them out. Great channel. Man, been talking back and forth for years. Good way to do it. Facebook user, don't have your name up there, says right now installing an overhead gas line. I love it. And you're right, time has value too. We talked about that a while ago. Installed a few air wash brand as well as inline duct UV filters. You know, and look, I'm wanting to talk to the guy that came out today. I've got a house. It's 22 years old. So, and I've pieceworked the AC systems to keep it going. But it's time to go ahead and upgrade to a new Super Seer, amazing. And I want to do the whole house air filtration. I want to set it up where it automatically circulates the air every year to clean it. So yes, it's time. I take the 18 just so I'm guaranteed 40 hours. It's more of a guarantee of income. I get that. The other sounds more part-time or commission. Very true. But Sweeney, remember what I said? I'd take that 23, but the first time I'm not working 8 hours, I'm going to use that time to go look for a new job. Just saying. Oh, yeah, that's me, though. 23 agreed with less time. Life's too short to work most of the day. Open time can be used to learn more experiences. William, I agree. Business is heavier related. Isn't that true? And man, that's what you try to teach guys these days. Go in and build a relationship. If you build a relationship, it makes it all worthwhile. Speaking of relationships, as you just saw, this video is sponsored by Ferguson. I've got links up there and down in the super chat or down in the description. Y'all go check out Ferguson.com and the link to their Facebook group. Matter of fact, watch this. Boom, it's right there on the screen. Y'all know why we team up with Ferguson. It's not just what they do for me. It's not just what they do for y'all. It's what they do for the communities that they're in. So thank y'all very much. I do. I hope y'all will go check that out. And thanks to Ferguson. I love getting to work with him. It was so neat today because I'm talking to Lauren and we're talking about content and stuff. And I've asked y'all a few times and I haven't seen it yet. If y'all got video ideas that y'all would like to see, please put something in here and say, hey, Roger, we'd really love to see this video. All right, back over into the forum. Again, guys, if you've got questions, I guarantee the ones you put in the forum will get answered, at least if it's clean, anything like that. Jacob says, if you had to give any advice to a new plumber, what advice would you give them? And man, this is easy because this is one I talk about often. Always try to be the very best. I don't care what trade you're in. I don't care what job you're in. And I want y'all to think about this. If somebody new gets into the trades right now and they try to be the very best, the best apprentice, the best foreman, the best superintendent, they're going to keep moving up and make more money. And I say that because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and about 8 years ago, when union scale was about $25 an hour, I was making over 50. If you work to be the very best, you're going to get paid for it. And it may mean education. It may mean knowledge. It may mean just learning new things. How many people that are in management, in leadership, understand communications, understand what motivates people? How many people like that are studying management, leadership, construction management? There's so many things that y'all can learn today free. Right here, look, I teach people how to fix plumbing free. There's so many things that you can learn to help set you apart. So, Jacob, my biggest advice is always try to be the very best. I got into the union late. I got in 97. I'd already been plumbing for 17 years. And I got in, and you know, all they called me was a rat. You're a rat. You don't know anything. You don't know how to plumb. We went to class. You didn't. But luckily for me, I was taught by two of the best plumbers I've ever known. So when I went to work on a union job, I made it my goal. Every job I worked on, I'm going to work harder than anybody and everybody else and make sure. And I don't know why. If y'all were watching me on Facebook, it looks like you might have lost me for a little bit, but it looks like I might be back now. And I hate that because that throws my numbers way off. But anyway, always try to be the very best. People these days aren't trying to. So when I walked onto a job, I made it my goal. I want to outperform every plumber on this job. And guys, you can do it. And it's so easy to now because nobody wants to be the best. They just want to show up and get a check. If you show up every day and work your tail off and try to be the very best that you can be, man, it's going to be a good thing. And it's not going to be hard to do. So, Jacob, man, I hope you're listening when I tell you that. Raymond Chavez says, what brand tools do you personally recommend? It depends on what all tools you're talking about. I'm old school. My dad worked with Craftsman, so I still love Craftsman. I think Milwaukee and Rigid are two of the best tools out there. I love DeWalt. I'm not one of these people that it's like I bleed red, orange, yellow, but I mean, if you look around, I got Milwaukee right here in the studio with me. I think everybody does something great. I've been so excited about Milwaukee and their new camera, so and their locator. So my thing is, if you learn how to use a tool right, it can make you more money. And then if you do the research and figure out who makes that tool better than anybody else, that there's things out there I think Rigid does phenomenal at. There's things out there that I think Milwaukee does phenomenal at. And of course, you can get all those at Ferguson.com. Most of my electric tools, my battery operated tools started out as DeWalt. So it's a little bit of everything, but I'm telling you, find one that you like. Cause I've got a million different batteries back there. Find one that you like and try to stick with one brand unless there's something specialty that they make. I know Milwaukee makes a concrete saw that I love. Their sewer machine, their camera. Their camera is amazing. And then the Rigid sewer machine, the sectional drain cleaning. There's a lot of different things out there. It's hard to say what brand tools I personally recommend because I like a lot of them. All right, let's jump back over into the chat for just a moment. Yeah, business is all relationship based. That's true. Sweeney Dustin says, man, the pollen and allergy stuff here are real today. Roger, sounds like me today. I've been coughing a lot here lately, and I'm trying to drink a lot of water. So, Hugh McClemens says, can we get a shirt with your face on it? I think that, is there not one down in the merch under the video? I used to have some like that. If I don't, I'll check and see, and we'll do some of those again. Ransco F2U says, digging a hot water leak is the worst. Yeah, it can get hot and muggy and sweaty really fast. Matt Villain says, good afternoon, sir. I'm taking an apprentice test tomorrow to potentially raise my pay. Okay, I already did that one. So, man, get it. Study anything and everything you can. I love the code book, the UPC study guide. I love the study guide because I can look in the back and see the correct answers, go through and mark them, and then I just read that book. No, I do. I read the entire thing just like a book. Perfect. Chad Gritton says, I got a question. They recommend cleaning out your septic tank every 2 years. But my neighbor, who's probably 85, said he's not cleaned his out for the last 20. And doing so ruined the enzymes in the septic tank. You know, I would call a septic tank company and ask them these same questions. I don't work on septic tanks because there's not a lot of them here in the city of Dallas and Richardson and stuff like that. So it's nothing that I have a lot of experience on. I would call somebody that does. It's like I got a super chat there. I want to say thank you to Dustin Sweeney. Says, did you say super chat? That is what that is. Thank you very much. Sweeney Dunstan, thank you, brother. The cool thing is you get neat people in here all the time, and you see them over and over. We're working on things for our members. I know Randy Morrow's in here. He's a member. I saw some other ones earlier. I think architectural sheet metal is or was. Anyway, we're working. Joseph Lalibert, absolutely. It's easier to see them over here. I'll scroll through; they're all green. But the neat thing is we're working on some things for our members to do some really cool stuff for them. We're going to start doing videos that only they get to see. So we're working on some cool stuff for the members. So guys, thank y'all very much. And Sweeney Dunstan, thank you very much. Sweeney Dunstan, YouTube, YT. You got to love it. All right. Jacob Bowling says, Roger, you are an amazing plumber. I don't know which Roger you're talking about, but if it's me, I do appreciate it. Guys, here's the deal. There's nothing amazing about me. I wanted to do good. When I got into the union, I was just like everybody else. I was a plumber. I had a license. Here's the problem most plumbers have. And guys, I'm including me in this because I did the exact same thing I'm going to tell you. Once I got my license, I stopped learning. Once I got my plumbing license, and this isn't just plumbing, it's plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing. It doesn't matter. Roofing, there's no license. Most technicians, once they get their license, they stop. They stop learning. They stop growing. They may learn enough to help them move up a little bit. But here's the deal. If you want to go from down here to up here quicker, learn something. Learn something new. Learn construction management. Learn management. Learn communications. Learn leadership. Read the book Exactly What to Say. Man, there's so many things out there that I promise you can help you grow, help you make more money, and literally change everything you do in your life. And it's just an educational way. It's just learning your way up. Man, we are blessed because I think we are all in one of the most amazing trades there is. And I'm not even talking just plumbing, electrical, HVAC, roofing. We got it going on. And look, I'm no better than anybody else. I've just made it a point to study this. And then I learned how to do social media. So thank you. I do appreciate it. But man, I'll tell you what, anybody can do what I'm doing. And that's the God's honest truth. Ron Lovell says, apparently there are dozens of different grades and colors of PVC glue. for high pressure PVC lines of pools and hot tubs. Yeah, but Ron Level, I don't think there's any high pressure in the pools. I may be wrong. That's interesting, though. I'll check more into that because I've only seen, and I have seen the wet and dry, high temp stuff like that. But I've only seen I've always just used heavy body pool cement. Mike Grover says, here in New York, we do a lot of hay. Even at 40 years old, I like to get out in the field and throw hay because nothing keeps you in shape better. Oh, man. Sorry about that, guys. I hit the button twice because of my throat. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Thank y'all. I appreciate that. Mike, I don't do hay anymore. The reason being is that number one, I've had both shoulders and my right bicep operated on. But before I got into high school, so back before 1978, I could literally pick up a 125-pound bale of hay and throw it about 10 feet up in the air. And I mean, even land it the way I wanted it to land. I could almost stack a trailer without having to have anybody on it. But we could throw it up there and get it close. Now, I remember when I first started, I'd just throw them up on the trailer, and man, somebody on the trailer would have to stack everything. But as you get older, it's like, look, I can get it up here and make it easier on them. So, like, I love that. That has got to be. I know. I'm sorry. Hey, the good thing is, Sweeney Dunstan, tech happens. It happens. I own it. I messed up, man. As soon as I looked down and saw sound, I looked down. Who was it? Sound please. Science Man 96 games. So sound please. I looked down. It's like, dadgummit. So anyway, thank y'all for understanding. Tech does happen. Lorenzo again says, are your leak detection systems reliable? Do you recommend them? Absolutely. I am actually, it's funny because I'm trying to design my own. I use Leak Pro. I think Leak Pro is great. I use Leaktronics. I use subsurface leak detection. And I got some good stuff. Yes. There we go. I got merch out there somewhere. I'm not sure what's in it right now, but I need to check. Jacob Bowling says, I love your videos. What made you want to do plumbing? You know, it's really funny. One of my best friends, and I talk about this a lot. One of my best friends and me, I was 16 years old. I was managing a restaurant, a hamburger place, and he was working with me one night, and we're sitting there talking. It was a slow night, so we probably actually sitting down in a booth and sitting there talking. And he said, man, you going to do this forever? And I'm like, dude, I am 16 years old. I am managing a restaurant. Do you know how good life is? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm probably only making about $5 an hour. But he looked at me and said, so what are you going to do if you quit or get fired? And that thought had never crossed my mind. He said, who do you think is going to hire a 16-year-old restaurant manager? And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks. Well, it was a couple of weeks later that I either quit or got fired. Man, I'm telling you, he had told me about his 3 older brothers that were plumbers and his dad that was a plumber and how much they loved it. Jacob, that's what got me into it, man. And I do. I love what I do. Raymond Chavez has just got in the union, start on the 25th doing plumbing. Raymond, number one, congratulations to you. What union? What number? Where are you located? Congratulations. I think that's fantastic. Drew D, thank you. I love the channel too. You like that? Sweeney Dunstan? Yeah. Look, if you like what you're hearing, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Just hit that button twice. Cam0556 says hello from Austria. Wow. Good to see you in the house. Got Austria in here. HLP Smoke Vintage says, how long have you been doing plumbing? 42 years ago is when I started. Yeah, bless your heart. I get it. How are your plumbing vans running? They're running good as far as I know, Drew. Why should they not be? Matthew Bourne says, I have a question. I started in the union. Now I am in residential. Used to be a field tech installer. Now I'm in sales. The only thing that keeps me happy now is when a sale goes through. You know, Matthew, and I look at it different. The thing that makes me happy is being able to take care of the customer. I want to give them options because it's not, you know, everything that we offer them. I don't know what their budget's like. I don't know what kind of problems they're having. The thing that helps me is literally knowing that I'm giving them the options and explaining what I would do. And I think the way that I talk to them about it, Matthew, is I tell them, if you were my mother or my sister, this is what I would tell you to do. And then at that point, it's up to them. So I don't get really excited about the sale. The sale's wonderful. And I know we need to make sales to make the phone ring. But my thing is, look, if we're doing something that's more affordable to them and they like us more, they're going to call us more often. I'm worried about them being a customer for life, not just making one sale. So I look at it a little bit different. Sweeney, yes, sir. Every day is a learning experience. Matthew, I get it, brother. I do. And I wish, man, I wish that there was something I could just tell you. All I can say is maybe that's it. You start looking at it and say, man, look, this is all about the customer. How do you make it about them and really help them out? Jacob says, I love all your videos. Are you a fan of people cleaning their sinks with chemicals? I don't think those chemical drain cleaners work. So no, I'm not. And I think that if they do use them, they need to let plumbers know. That way nobody comes out and gets chemicals in their eyes and maybe blinds them. Randy Morrow says, hey, Roger, not sure if you already answered, just got in here. I'm a commercial plumber shifting direction to residential. Any advice towards green plumbing reference, education, and certification? Yeah, Randy, I'm kind of like you. I've done a little bit of all of it. Green Plumbers USA out of California. Man, I don't even know if they're still around. That is one of the first people. That's one of the first groups that I got involved with, and they are still around. At least they've got a website. It's just not coming up. Maybe they're not still around. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I guess not. It looks like they're still on LinkedIn though, maybe. Yeah, but there's only 2 employees. Ryan Dills is still one of them. I've used to communicate with him a lot. Look, Green Plumbers USA used to be phenomenal. Okay, and they are. It's just under greenplumbersamerica.com. So it looks like they've changed their name. And they used to be fantastic. They had a great training program, and I really did. I loved going through it and learning the things that I did. The other one is to become a lead AP, which is leadership and energy and environmental design. It's a lot of work. It's hard to do. You're going to think you're reading Russian. I know I did when I picked up the study guide, but man, at the end of the day, I did. I learned a lot. It's a great education, though. Matthew Bourne says that the industry now only looks for people who can sell and then sends out guys that cannot do the work. I feel bad at this point and almost want to go back in a van again. You know, the good thing about going in a van again, Matthew, is at least then you get to be one who does the work and hopefully does it right. Even if I go out in sales, I will give people options. I'm not going to tell them you have to take this most expensive one, but I do want to be able to at least let them know. But here's how I look at it. Matthew, I can do 3 things here. I can come out and fix the problem, meaning, look, all we're going to do is fix the problem. It's going to work for a while. Don't know how long that'll last. Or the second option is we can restore your system to the way it was the day the house was built. The third option is we can restore your system or build your system, upgrade your system to what it would be built like today. And that's 3 options. and we have financing, so we can explain all that to them. Man, if your heart's not in it, don't do it. I'll tell you that will wear you out quicker than anything. Sergio says there's a rattle water hammer in a wall where water heater is located whenever I close a hot water faucet. Any thoughts? You may have to open up that wall and secure things. It's probably something's come loose and it's shaking a little bit. Hard to tell. Man, it's never too late to start working as a plumber apprentice. I literally had a guy that was in my class when I was an instructor in Local 100 here in Dallas. I had a guy in my class that was 55 years old, and he loved what he did. Back over into the forum, Ron says, have you used infrared cameras for leak detection? I have used FLIR cameras. I think I like the leak detection equipment better because of the sound. If the temperature, if a hot water leaks too far into the slab and it doesn't penetrate, it's not going to show real good, but it can get you close if it's right up by the slab. So, man, they're good to have. They're just not cheap. Randy Morris says tips on green plumbing. Already answered that. Mike Grover says, I'm a union mason tile setter, but I have learned a lot from you as a homeowner to help fix my own plumbing. Well, Mike, number one, thank you. I'm glad. I have people. It's funny because, when I first started this channel, it was all about Texas green plumbing, growing the business. Then I started realizing, man, I've got more plumbers that are getting in here and engaging and asking questions and learning. So my thought was, okay, I'm going to change my content and help them grow. Then I started realizing it's not just plumbers. I've got other tradesmen. I've got masons. I've got roofers. I've got electricians. I've got HVAC techs. So I decided at that point, you know what, man, I'm going to make this fun. I'm going to talk to all trades and teach the tradesmen themselves how to get better. And that's always been a big deal to me. Meg says, great video. Also kind of random, but get this. The one angle with your logo behind you kind of looks like Alfred Hitchcock. My dad loves your videos too. Cheers from Maryland. Number one, thank you very much. I hope you're not talking about my belly. And you hurt my feelings, Meg. That's funny that you think that looked like Alfred Hitchcock. Freddie Velasquez says, great, Roger, is either for love of the trades or for the money. Guys, here's the deal. You can love both. You can love the trades and make good money. I did not learn more just to make more money. I started learning more because I wanted to grow. And then as I started growing, I started making more money. I was in the union for about 20 years. The funny thing is, I would leave a company because somebody else would pay me to come to them. And then that other company would pay me to come back. So over the course of about 10, 12 years, I bounced back and forth between two companies. And I remember having this conversation with my dad. And Freddie, it's funny you put it that way, because my dad said, look, I think it'd be a good idea for you to pick one company and just settle down with them and grow. And I said, Dad, I don't just leave these companies. Other people pay me to come to work for them. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, this last time I left, I said, I got a $6 an hour raise. That's $12,000 a year. And man, you could just tell that blew his mind. And he said, look, you know what? You just keep doing things the way you're doing just fine. I love what we do. I love this trade. If y'all can't tell that, then man, I'm doing something wrong, because I love what we get to do each and every day. I do love making money though. I've got a house, I've got a truck, I've got a motorcycle. I love making money. But you can't do that if you're not trying to be the best. And to be the best, you've got to study it. You've got to learn it. You've got to know it better than anybody else. So, Freddie, man, I love the trade. If y'all can't tell that, I'm sorry. But I do love making money too. HLP Smoke Vintage says, I love plumbing too. It's one of my stuff that I like to do. Man, I get you. Jacob Bowen, Roger, a wonderful person, and you're an amazing plumber. Thank you very much. I Love Food says, hello, I'm taking a helper position soon. I'm worried because I'm not physically strong or in shape, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and I'm grateful for getting a shot. I will tell you this. I Love Food. Do what you have to do to get yourself in shape then. Start walking. Get out every day. Start walking around the block. Get up every morning. Walk around the block. then walk twice around the block, then walk 4 times around the block. You can get physically strong. You don't have to be super strong to be in this trade, but you've at least got to be in shape where you can climb ladders, where you can climb stairs, get into a second floor, different things like that. But it's nothing that any of us can't do. And what I'm going to tell you here right now is if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And if you'll do it, you'll look back at yourself 5 years from now and you'll say, you know what? I am so freaking glad I did that. It will change your life. Sweeney says, doing good, brother. Good to be here as a former home maintenance and repair guy. HLP says, 1 month ago, my hot water heater had to be replaced because it was leaking. Man, it happens, y'all. Lee Fulton says, Roger, could you make a video about lead and asbestos safety? I'm an apprentice and none of the plumbers I work with have been able to give me much info. Well, the reason they don't is hopefully there's not much of that stuff around anymore, but I do get it. Hey, Roger, what's your favorite TikTok plumber? That would be me. Man, I have fun on TikTok. Patty Sherry Farrell says, my bathtub fixtures need to be replaced and I don't know how. And they are leaking. How can I do this? I've made a video about that, changing a cartridge, different things like that. Look at it. I'll tell you one thing you can do, Patty, is you can, let me find my banners. Go over to our subreddit right here. Post pictures of it, a video of it, anything you want to post. Man, Sean Strong's normally in here. There's a lot of plumbers that get in there that will actually help answer those questions and show you how. I'm going to jump back over into the forum for a few minutes. Guys, I'm not going to get to any more questions in the comments, I am sure. I've been telling y'all, if you got some you want answered, jump over in the forum. Ron says, can or have you used infrared cameras for leak detection? Answered that one. I have. I don't like them as well as I do the leak detection equipment. El Carr says, I've been an apprentice for 3 years, haven't learned much. Steps to become a journeyman or move up. Man, I teach that all the time. What I would tell you is watch a lot of these videos. It's going to help you learn and grow. Look at the videos where I talk about getting ready for the journeyman exam, what to study. I think if you've been in it this long, when you read those questions and that, you're going to understand it. Mr. Hernandez says, how do you keep the morale up for your employees? And employees, they can't depend on me to keep their morale up. I try. I want them to be happy at work. We try to do things every quarter with our team. We went to Top Golf a couple of weeks ago, had fun, hang around, bought the guys drinks and dinner, and got to bring their family. So that's what I try to do. And I do. I really hope that that helps. Jacob says, some plumbers like to solder copper pipes. Have you ever soldered? Jacob, I've soldered more in my life than I've done anything else. That's soldering is a skill. If you are in the trades, I highly recommend you learn it. I've got videos where I teach people how to solder and how to braze. Man, watch them and figure it out. Ryan says, I'm a second-year plumbing apprentice, and the current company I'm at told me if I want to learn more than drain cleaning, I'll have to sell more. Is this my sign to leave and find somewhere else? And here's the deal. A lot of companies buy sell more. And I want you to think about this. They want you to give people options. If they've got a break, are you just unclogging it? Or are you selling them the repair that needs to be done with it? Because if you're not selling them the repair, guess what? It's going to clog up again. We've got to be able to sell. And I say this because is when we come out and fix the problem, we need to sell them a permanent solution. And it's not just sales. It's giving them options and explaining to them what's best. If you've got a break and I come out to your house every 3 months to unclog it, or I tell you, hey, you know what? The break's right there. We could dig a hole and repair it for this much, and you never have to deal with that again. Am I really selling you anything, or am I just giving you options? And I'm going to tell a quick story. I've got all the questions answered. So guys, I'm not going back to the forum. So don't ask any more in there. I'm not answering any more in the chat. I'm going to tell y'all a story because the big thing for me is I was like that. I didn't want to sell people anything. I thought look, sales, that's not what I'm about. Sales is not what I do. I'm a plumber. So what I did is I was talking to a guy one day, and he was actually speaking at an event, and he says, "Look," he says, "there's this guy walking down the corridor, a doctor, and he's late at the hospital. He's doing his rounds, and he's reading the names as he goes by, and he sees the names of one of his patients, and he walks in, and he says, 'Fred, oh my God, what are you doing in the hospital?' And Fred says, 'Well, literally,' he says, I had a heart attack yesterday.' Says, 'Right after I left your office, I had a heart attack.' Now Fred's laying here in the bed. Man, he's got his arm up in a sling. They've got the bed elevated. They got machines hooked up to him, got oxygen under his nose. And he said, 'Man, Doc, I died. I died twice.' Says, 'They brought me back.' Doc says, 'I know, Fred.' Says, 'I was worried about you.' He says, 'What do you mean, Doc?' He says, well, when you came in yesterday, we took your blood pressure. Man, we didn't know if you were going to make it all the way through our session.' And he says, 'Doc, why didn't you tell me?' He says, 'Well, Fred, you're just in my office to get a cast on your arm. We did it.' Think about it that way. Your customer may call you and say, 'Hey, we got a leaky toilet.' Well, you're the professional plumber, and while you're at the house, I want you to think about this. If you just walked around and did an inspection and looked at every bit of plumbing they had just to see, are there any problems? And they had a water heater up in the attic, which I'm going to be nice and not call them any names. Some construction superintendent contractor somewhere decided in Texas that was a good idea. But there's a water heater in the attic, and it's right above their living room, and it's 20 years old. You as the professional plumber should at least say, 'Hey, I just want to let y'all know you've got a water heater up here. It's 20 years old. They're recommended for 6 or 8 years. I highly recommend replacing it, because if it ruptures, it's going to flood your ceiling, and it's going to mess up everything. And it's not just going to make a hole right there. It's going to leak out all through your attic until all that sheetrock comes down. And then it's going to ruin your hardwood floors, your carpet, whatever you've got down here.' If you're doing that with a customer, you're not selling them. You're being a professional plumber, and you're giving them the correct advice, the correct information. You're giving them the options that I would hope that you would give your mother or your sister. It's not sales at that point. It's doing the right thing. So guys, I'm going to get off on that one. I want to tell y'all, this video was sponsored by Ferguson. Thank you very much, Ferguson. Man, I love what y'all do for me. Y'all make it where I can do the things that I do. And we teamed up with them because of stuff like this. They hooked me up with great people to make videos with, great product to give away, and they do great things for plumbers and the communities that they're in. So guys, please check out right there on the screen, facebook.com, go to their page, the Ferguson Trade, and go to ferguson.com and check it out. I hope that I get to see y'all in here next week. I should. Not 100% sure, but I'm going to try to. I'm going out of town for the weekend. Hopefully I'll be back in time. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all got this. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you like it. If you do, please give us a thumbs up. If you really love what we do, share it with somebody. Let them know what we're doing in the trades, and maybe we can get them into. Anyway, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, helping you make more money in the trades.